Welcome to Spectator Sport, sponsored by SpectatorSport.com. I'm Zach Roach.
I'm Marty Wally.
We got a big show for you today. We got a lot to talk about. But before we get into it, make sure you go on SpectatorSport.com. Go ahead and subscribe to that YouTube page, Spectator Sport. Previous videos, more videos to come, interviews, all that. This is episode number 31. 31. We call it the Reggie Miller edition. And all I can think about is the gun. Now, with Spike Lee, when every time I talk about Reggie Miller, such a clutch performer. Well, like I said, we got a big show for today. We talking a lot of football. The playoffs.
About time.
Yeah, they're finally here. And the one good thing about it is the Bears are finally involved. And also, we have the great, the surprising, and the awful. But that's a little later. Let's talk Chicago Bears. The Bears didn't really have to play their starters against the Vikings. They didn't have to go out there and play, but Matt Nagy said, you know what? We're going to go out there and we're going to treat this like a real game. And it was a good way to go about it. Now, of course, if someone got hurt, we will all probably be saying, why did Nagy do that? But it benefited him. No major injuries. Looks like everybody's going to be playing in a playoff game. But boy, did they really take it to the Minnesota Vikings. They just really took Minnesota's Vikings football manhood. What was your thought on that game?
Yeah, it was a remarkable game right there. It was up there. You talk about the Rams game. To me, that was the best win of the season.
Yeah.
But this Vikings game, to go to Minnesota, it was right up there with that, man. Probably second best win of the season. The Vikings had everything to play for. It was an elimination game for them. If they would have just won, they would have been in the playoffs. The Bears didn't have a lot to play for. You know, when they're looking at the scoreboard, 49ers losing by 28 points or something like that. So at the halftime, so now you could have called the dogs off a long time ago. But they went ahead up there to Minnesota and got the victory. I'm telling you, but the Vikings, they did seem like they was going to get the momentum when Stephon Diaz got that touchdown. The crowd got into it. They was only down 3 points, so they stole the momentum. Was about to get something going. But Mitchell Trubisky, man, he came through with the best drive of his career. 16 plays, over 9-minute drive.
That was great. That was great.
It was remarkable because his top 3 receivers was out during that time. Anthony Miller, he got hurt on the first drive. Yep. You have Taylor Gabriel had a 40-yard pass, which he got hurt on early in the first half. And then Allen Robinson didn't play in that game. He was hurt. So he's throwing the ball to 7th-round rookie Javon Williams. That guy came through. He had a great preseason. He finally got his first receptions of the year against Minnesota Vikings. Mitchell Trubisky had some nice scrambles on that drive. They converted like 4 first downs on 3rd down during that drive, which is even more remarkable because they playing against the best defensive team against 3rd down, the best 3rd down defense in the NFL. And he's just driving on them, milking the clock. It was capped off by a 3-yard touchdown by Tariq Cohen. And on top of all that, they do the little trick play for the 2-point conversion. We got Prince Amukamara running back and forth before the play, and he throws it to the backup inside linebacker, Nick the Kwiatkowski, for the 2-point conversion. Minnesota never recovered from that. I mean, it was an incredible performance by the entire Bears team.
Yes, that was. Like I said last week, I said the key is to get to Kirk Cousins early. Get to him early, and he will fold. And that's exactly what happened. They brought pressure on him. That man looked like he was scared for his life the way they were coming after him. Got sacked 4 or 5 times, got hit another 5 times. I mean, it was just a great performance, and it just shows you the maturity of the team. They're just ready to go. And I get it. They don't want to even put losing in their DNA. They were just like, we're just going to keep playing. And it doesn't matter who we play.
Right.
It doesn't matter. I know. So speaking of doesn't matter who they play, so the Bears, shout out to the Bears, 12-4. 12-4, NFC North champions. But they didn't get the first round bye because, like you said, the Rams destroyed the 49ers. But it's okay. Yeah. It is what it is. We're in the playoffs, 7 seasons. Now, the first opponent, everybody's saying, did the Bears make a mistake of beating the Vikings and letting the Eagles in? The Philadelphia Eagles come in on fire as well. They've been pretty hot since Nick Foles, once again, Foles lit them up. What I say?
Right, Foles lit them up.
5 out of 6 victories, big wins against the Rams at LA, and beat the Texans, and of course beat the Washington Redskins to solidify their playoff position. What's your thoughts on this matchup?
Well, yeah, the Rams, Nick Foles, he's coming in. I mean, the Eagles had a big game in Los Angeles. That was their best win during this three-game winning streak that they're on right now. So their biggest win was in Los Angeles. That defense, they got 3 takeaways in that game against the Rams. But you know what? Mitchell Trubisky, he has been taking care of the ball since he threw those 3 picks against the Rams about 4 weeks ago. He's been taking care of the ball. No turnovers from Mitchell Trubisky in the last 3 games. No lost fumbles, no interceptions, okay? Now, against...
He had a lost fumble. He did have a lost fumble. That was considered fumbled against the lateral pass.
Oh, yeah, when he threw it to Rico. Okay, so one little, on that bad play call by Matt Nagy. Yeah. But, yeah, so one turnover, but no interceptions. So, the thing is about the Eagles... They got a big victory against the Houston Texans, okay? They did beat them, and Nick Foles lit them up. He had 471 passing yards in that game, an Eagles record, okay? And he had 4 touchdown passes in that game. He threw a nice bomb to Nelson Aguilar, 83-yard touchdown catch from him. The Houston Texans was just blowing coverages left and right. Zach Ertz had 12 receptions, 110 yards. They couldn't find him in the coverage and things like that. And so... Their head coach, Doug Peterson, that guy loves to go for it on 4th down. He doesn't like to kick the ball. They went for it 4 times against the Houston Texans, converted all 4 of them, okay? Also, last week against the Washington Redskins, they went for it on 4th down, and Nick Foles threw a touchdown pass to Alshon Jeffrey, and he mossed Josh Norman for the touchdown. Alshon Jeffrey has been hot lately, and he's on a mission. Yeah. He's been making some nice catches, and the best unit on the Eagles team is that defensive line with Kyle Long's older brother, Chris Long. You got Michael Bennett, came over from the Seahawks, and you have Fletcher Cox. He's a perennial Pro Bowler. Those guys have combined for 26 sacks this season. But we got Kyle Long back. You got James Daniels, the rookie, and Cody White right here and there. And the Bears' offensive line has been great against in the pass blocking. They're number 8 in the NFL in sacks allowed per game. That's the key matchup to me.
Yes, I definitely. That's definitely a big time matchup. My matchup for me is the same. Same Kirk Cousins treatment. Foles has been hot. He's been putting up numbers. We got to get to him early and let him know it's not going to be that type of party. Khalil Mack, Akeem Hicks, Leonard Floyd, Eddie Goldman set the tone early. That is the key. Hit him a couple times. He's got bruised ribs. I'm not advocating hurt the man, but let it be known that this is you are in a real game right now, and none of all that fancy RPO stuff is not going to be working on us. So I think the Bears set the tone early. Another thing the Bears have been doing really well the last few weeks to help Mitch out, Jordan Howard. Welcome back, Jordan Howard. Welcome back. 109 yards, 2 touchdowns against the Minnesota Vikings. Big time game. He's been averaging almost 4.5 yards a carry the last few weeks. He's been balling out, and when they giving him the ball, it helps Mitch out so much. That play action is open. What you said about Mitch is so true. That long drive against the Vikings, what really impressed me is how he read the blitz. The couple times Minnesota came after him, he read it and he found the open guy for first downs on big time. He's developing, no doubt. He is developing. Still a long way to go, no question about it. He ain't far from a finished product, but he's getting better and better every game. And of course his legs, he bails the Bears out a lot of times with his legs. He get crucial 3rd down, 1st downs, and and he's fast and he's built like a running back. So you're just not prepared for that. It's hard to prepare for that. So I wonder if the Eagles going to keep a spy on him. How they're going to defend that? They're probably going to have the defensive ends play contained and try to keep him in the pocket, make him beat him in the pocket. But the key is the defensive line setting the tone early and running the ball with Jordan Howard. I feel if Jordan Howard has a good game, the Bears should win this game. They will be fine because that'll open everything else up. Make the Eagles commit to stopping the run, and then boom, you may hit somebody. Because remember, the Eagles have a lot of injuries in the secondary. Yeah, no doubt. They still have Malcolm Jenkins, who's a good player, no question about it. But they have some injuries, and it's some matchups. Allen Robinson or Taylor Gabriel uses speed. We can take advantage of it. We should be able to hit some home runs on them if they're running the ball really well. No question about it. So, what is your thought? So, it's a big debate. Foles, Super Bowl champion last year, Super Bowl MVP. Right. Yeah. Mitch going into the game, no experience. This is his first playoff game. How much of a factor do you think that's going to play?
You know what? I think Nick Foles, in a way, I'm not afraid of him and everything. He did his thing. I give him credit. He got Super Bowl MVP, and then he had a good few games last week. But I'm giving the edge to Mitch Trubisky. If I had to pick a quarterback in this game, I'm going with Mitch. He's very mobile. He's been getting much better. He learned a lot from that Rams game when he threw those picks. Yeah. He hasn't thrown a pick since then, and he's been very efficient, and just his completion percentage has been through the roof. Nick Foles, I think it's time for him to get hit around. Against the Texans, he got sacked. He got hit a couple of times by Jadeveon Clowney, and he did get hurt in that game. And he got hurt last week, so they had to put in Sudfeld, the third string quarterback. Yep. He has bruised ribs, so he may be a little gun shy. He want to get rid of that ball a little bit quicker. So I'll get an edge to Mr. Trubisky.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the key. What the Bears have done to all quarterbacks this year, they played some good ones, especially of lately. They've made them throw the ball when they're not ready to throw the ball. Mm-hmm. And that's where a lot of those turnovers came, that defensive pressure getting to the quarterback. So hopefully listen, Khalil Mack, he's proven himself already this season. Now it's time to show the world what is really. Show the world, and Khalil Mack, he can really show the world. Show it to the Raiders. Show it to what y'all missing out on the big stage, Soldier Field, playoff game. Come out there and just, if that defensive line is ready to go, the Bears should win this game. What's your thoughts? Who you got winning and why?
Well, you know what? The thing is, Eddie Jackson, hopefully he's healthy to play this game. Deion Bush has been pretty well as a backup for him at free safety. But now, one thing, don't sleep on Darren Sproles now. That's an older that's a more experienced version of Tariq Cohen. He's very slippery. He can get a little run, he can get a catch out the backfield, screen passes, and take it to the house, all right? And so, Nick Foles loves the dink and dunk a lot, but he will go over the top. So, he threw a bomb against Alshon Jeffrey, 50-yard bomb against the Rams, and 83 yards to Nelson Aguilar that I talked about earlier. But, I just believe that the Bears, they answer the call every time, okay? They swept the Vikings this year. They beat the Los Angeles Rams, and they clinched the division against the Green Bay Packers. They have been rising to the occasion every single time. Only thing that scares me about them is the kicker, Cody Parkey.
That's a big concern right there.
But despite him, I'm picking the Bears. I got the Bears winning this game. I got them covering the spread. They were favored by 6 points. I got them winning this game 24-13.
Yeah, I got the Bears winning too. I am worried about you brought up a good point about the kicker. That is a big concern. I am really concerned about them because I feel like if the Bears, even it could be something as simple as him missing the extra point and we lose by 1 point. Mm-hmm. So that is a huge concern. So the Bears going to have to take it out of his hands, like pretty much what they've been doing.
Right.
Let's not leave this to the kicker. We have to just go out here and win it themselves. And I think this game, it is a couple matchups. I'm curious to see how they're going to guard Alshon Jeffrey because that's Nick Foles' favorite target. But the big time matchup that I didn't talk about, I do want to talk about that I just want to mention right quick. Zach Ertz against Roquan Smith. Mm-hmm. That's a big time matchup because Zach Ertz is a really good tight end, but Roquan Smith in coverage, I knew he was good in coverage coming out of Georgia. I didn't know he was that good in coverage. He can run like a running back. That dude is fast. He's played really. The Bears have the third best defense against tight ends in all of football right now.
Remarkable.
Yes, and Roquan Smith. So I think that is another matchup. If Roquan Smith can continue and you may not be able to take him completely away, but make it difficult for Zach Ertz, I think that is huge in the way. But I got the Chicago Bears. I got them covering the spread too, 24-14.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I just think it might start off, but I think as the game goes on, the Bears are a very deep team. I think it's just as it goes on, the Bears wearing you. That's what they do to you. They wear on you, they wear you down, and they put you away. I
got the Bears winning double digits too, 24-13, and so hopefully they just come through and just play like they've been playing, stay consistent, and
don't turn the ball over.
Yeah, don't turn the ball over. Take care of it. Look out for Michael Bennett and those guys, Chris Long and Fletcher Cox, and they should be all right.
Yep. You're watching Spectator Sporting on SpectatorSporting.com. When we come back, we're going to talk about the rest of the Wildcard weekend. We'll be back. Welcome back to Spectator Sport, sponsored by SpectatorSport.com. I'm Zach Roach.
I'm Andy Waller.
This is episode number 31. We call it the Reggie Miller edition. One of the most clutch players of all time in NBA history. One of the only players in the East that almost beat Jordan.
Almost 7 games.
Yeah, they took the Bulls to 7 games in '98. Almost. But we got a big show today. Of course, we're talking a lot of football because it's the playoffs times. You know what time it is. Make sure you go on SpectatorSport.com. Check out my man has wrote some good articles on there. Go ahead and comment on them. Let them know how you feel about them, whether you agree or disagree. Also, check out the video on YouTube, Spectator Sport page. Go ahead and check it out. We're going to have plenty videos up there. This will be up there soon. If you agree or disagree, let us know. We want to hear it. We want to hear your thoughts. So go ahead and check us out. Now, like I was saying, big time football weekend, and the Bears is not the only team playing. There's a lot of big, good games. It's gonna be some good. This is gonna be a really good weekend of football, no question. And I want to start. This one is gonna be a great game. Andrew Luck, welcome back to the playoffs. 2-year hiatus from football, and he comes back. They hired a new coach in Frank Reich, and all of a sudden they're back in the playoffs. Andrew Luck is back. He's official, but it's the newcomer. We seen him win a national championship against Alabama. But Deshaun Watson has led the Houston Texans back to the playoffs. What's your thoughts on this game?
Well, yeah, this is the third meeting between these two teams, the AFC South rivals right here. Now, in the first meeting, it was the infamous call in overtime where the Colts head coach, Frank Reich, he went for it on 4th down in his own territory in overtime and ended up, he should have punted the ball and got the tie, but the Texans ended up winning that game. But in week 14, the Colts got their revenge, 499 yards by Andrew Luck and 199 yards receiving by T.I.M.E. in that game as the Colts lit up that Houston Texans secondary just like Nick Foles did.
That defense is beginning. That secondary is questionable back there.
Yes, the secondary like Jadeveon Clowney, J.J. Watt, and those guys, McKinney, that front seven, they get pressure. They do their job, but if that offensive line could just hold those guys for a second and a half, 2 seconds or something like that, that secondary hasn't been able to cover anybody. You look at the tape, people wide open, I don't know what they're doing. They tripping over each other, bumping into each other, blowing coverages left and right. Honey Badger, he's been getting burned as well.
Yeah.
So the Colts offensive line is going to have to just give Andrew Luck a couple of seconds and things like that. Marlon Mack in the running game, he's hit or miss for the Colts.
Solid.
So now the Houston Texans, Deshaun Watson, he does a good job. He has a great escapability, but like I said before, he has the highest sack. He's been sacked more than any other quarterback in the NFL. Okay, so I see the Colts defensive lineman, the Nico Autry, they have another big game against the Houston Texans. He had 2 sacks, 2 quarterback hits in the last game. So the Houston Texans running game has been poor this season. So I went ahead and picked the Colts in this game on the road to beat Houston. Houston's favored by what?
A point and a half.
Point and a half. Yeah, the Houston's favored by a point and a half. So I got the Colts winning this game 27-21. I'm picking an underdog in this game. I got the Colts winning by 6, 27-21.
I really think this is going to be a good game. Like you said, this is the third time they met this year. They just played about a week or 2 ago, and the Colts like what you talked about, that infamous terrible play call. I mean, because you never know. They might have won that game too, and then they come back and beat the Texans. I mean, so with that being said, going into the playoff, Andrew Luck, the last time he was in the playoffs, he was in the AFC Championship game. Mm-hmm. Now, they got destroyed by the Patriots, but they were in the AFC Championship game. So this game right here is a return to him, and Deshaun Watson trying to start something new and build something. The key matchup, I want to see how the Colts are going to guard DeAndre Hopkins.
Yes.
Yeah, because DeAndre Hopkins, to me, he might be the best receiver in football.
He going to get off. He going to get his numbers.
So I'm just curious how they're going to send a double team over there, because if they can somehow slow down him, I think the Colts will have a good chance to win. Like you say, Marlon Mack is a solid running back for the Colts, but the Colts have a really good offensive line. That offensive line is playing really good. And Quentin Nelson. Yeah, Quentin Nelson.
Top 10 draft pick.
Hell of a draft pick. Hell of a draft pick right there. He's stabilized that line. They run the ball. And the way Frank Reich has Andrew Luck playing, it isn't just like, the ball, run around, try to find somebody.
He will scramble.
He will if he has to, but now is get the ball out your hands as quick as possible and let your receivers make plays. And that has made all the difference in the world. for Andrew Luck. So in that case, I'm going with the Colts as well too. I think it's going to be a very close game, but I think the Colts, the way they're playing, I like the way the Colts are playing right now. They look like they are in a really good group, and their defense has stepped up as well too. They got fast players everywhere. I got the Colts winning in a tight one, 20-17.
Yeah, and they won 9 out of their last 10 games. Yeah. Colts and Houston, they haven't really beat anybody. I know they beat the Colts week 4, then they beat the Cowboys week 5, but both of those teams was kind of shaky at that point in time. And that loss in Philadelphia just showed me that they're not for real. They're not ready right now.
So, and that was a game where they could have locked up, or they could have had the first round bye.
Right.
So, that was a good point. So, yeah, I do got the Colts, but I do think it's going to be a good game. I'm curious. I think it's going to be a great game. Can't wait to watch it. Another rematch. Mm-hmm. The Chargers at the Ravens. Listen, the Chargers have had a phenomenal season. 12-4. But I think they're in the wild card because the Chiefs held the tiebreaker against them. Right. The Ravens all came out of nowhere. They were 4-5, and the best. I hate to say this. You don't want to say when a guy gets hurt, that's the best thing that happens to your team. Mm. But in this case, that's exactly what happened. Joe Flacco gets hurt, and insert Lamar Jackson, and everything changed. Now, you look at his numbers, nothing special. It's not flashy. But they are pounding the football. With him, the running back, whoever's in the game, they are running the ball. And all of a sudden, these last few weeks, they're throwing some things in there. Now he's throwing a couple passes here. Mm-hmm. So they're really making you have to really work as far as like how you're going to defend them. And their defense, number 1 in the league for the most part.
I would say the Bears. Number 1 in the AFC.
Yeah, but statistically, they've been up.
They are ranked number 1 because of their yards allowed per game, points allowed per game. Yeah.
Statistically,
right.
Now, do I think they're the best defense? No, but statistically, they have been great on defense this year.
Right.
What is your thoughts? So the Chargers come into the game. Phillip Rivers, great season, great bounce back season. I mean, he could be MVP candidate any other season if Patrick Mahomes would throw 50 touchdowns. Mm-hmm. But he's had a great season. They're pretty much healthy. Everybody's intact. And I know they want some revenge after pretty much the Ravens stopped them from getting home field throughout the playoffs. What's your thoughts on this game?
Yeah. Speaking of that game, 2 weeks ago, the Ravens held the Chargers to the lowest amount of total yards offensively and since 2014. Wow. Okay, so that Ravens defense totally shut down the Chargers game in their worst game offensively in 4 years. And so the linebacker for the Ravens, Patrick Owasso, okay, he had a great strip of Antonio Gates at the end of that game. Mm-hmm. The Chargers was trying to make a comeback. They was down 16-10 with under 3 minutes to go in the game. Antonio Gates caught the ball in the territory of the Ravens, about to get the drive, try to keep it going. But Owasso stripped them. Cornerback Tavon Young recovered the fumble, returned it all the way back for a touchdown to eventually get the Ravens a 22-10 victory in that game. So yes, revenge is on the mind of the Chargers. That was in LA, so now they're in Baltimore now. So now on the flip side, the Chargers, they got to find a way. I know they're going to contain Lamar Jackson because, they got Joey Bosa and they got Melvin Ingram, who's a Pro Bowler. They got them on the edge to keep Lamar Jackson in the pocket. But the problem is when you look at the film, you see Jackson gets a lot of yards up that middle, up that gut with those run-pass options. So that's when the all-pro rookie, Derwin James, a strong safety, he can come up, be the 8th man in the box, try to negate some of that up-the-middle stuff going on that the Ravens love to do in the running game. Now, the Chargers' key on defense is to put the Ravens in some obvious passing situations. The Ravens, they only converted 7 out of the last 27 third down.
Wow.
Okay, only 7 of the last 27 third downs they have converted. So if you can put Lamar Jackson in the obvious passing situation like 37s, 39s, and things like that, they have a chance to shut him down. But I don't believe it's going to happen. The Ravens, they just got something going with this Lamar Jackson. It's so unorthodox. Yeah. And then that defense is so great with C.J. Mosley had the great interception against the Browns so they can get that playoff berth. Because Pittsburgh beat the Bengals last week, but C.J. Mosley intercepted Baker Mayfield and to go ahead and go in the playoffs. The defense is stout. I'm going with the Ravens. I love their running game. I love their defense. I got the Ravens winning this game. I picked the score here, 19-16. I think it's going to be close. I got the Ravens winning this game 19-16. They favored by what, a point and a half?
2.5.
2.5 points. So I got them So, yeah, I got them covering the spread. I got them winning by 3 points, 19-16 Ravens.
Yeah, I think this is going to be one of them. This is going to be a war. I mean, in other words, this is going to be a fight because the Chargers got defense. I know the Chargers watch the tape. They're going to make many adjustments. They're probably going to. I think they're going to come after Lamar Jackson. I think they're going to come after.
That might be the best thing to do.
Blitz him, make it. Just I think that's how you got to come at him. Throw him some exotic coverages and come at him at the same time and make him think back there. But at the same time, the Ravens' defense is, the Chargers got to figure out how they're going to score on the Ravens too. And I think that's where it's going to be the difference. So I think it's going to be really tight. But I think at the end of the day, Lamar Jackson, as much as I like Lamar Jackson, as much as I think he's going to be better and better, especially once his passing gets going, I think it will get going. I just think right now he's a rookie. And it's hard for me to say, listen, if I need a score, I think scoring is going to be at a premium in this game. But I got to go with the Chargers. I think Phillip Rivers finds a way to pull this one out.
Wow.
And I think it's going to be a war. It's going to be a fight. But I think needing a touchdown, if they can get 1 or 2 touchdowns, I think that'll do it for them. I got the Chargers winning 17-16 and 17-16. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a great slugfest. Joey Bosa, Terrell Suggs. I mean,
in Baltimore, that's another thing that persuaded me. But the Chargers did win 6 games in a row on the road.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. If they was in LA, it wouldn't even matter because the Chargers feel like that's not a home field advantage anyway.
Right.
Doesn't matter. They've shown they can win anywhere. So that home field really don't mean nothing. I just feel like when it comes down to it, now if Lamar Jackson gets out of this one, I'm on board now, but I'm really on board.
Yeah, I'm on board with Jackson. I'm just on board with it. They've been doing their things.
But the Chargers have been good all season, so I feel like they're gonna get this one. But I think it's gonna be a hell of a game. You watching Spectator Sporting on SpectatorSporting.com. When we come back, the Seahawks going to Dallas, and we also have the surprising, and the off-field when we get back. Welcome back to Spectator Sporting, sponsored by SpectatorSporting.com. I'm Zach Roach.
I'm Adi Waller.
This is episode number 31. We call it the Reggie Miller edition. One of the greatest shooters of all time. One of the most clutch shooters of all time. The guy who almost beat Jordan. Almost. Took him to 7 games, but they couldn't get it done. But shout out to Reggie Miller. Make sure you go to SpectatorSporting.com. Click on that video. Subscribe to the Spectator YouTube page. Man, go ahead and put comments down there. Tell us how you feel, whether you agree or disagree. We want to know. Let us know. Bring it on. We got a big show today. Of course, it is Wildcard weekend. A lot of fun. Big time playoff games. And we got another playoff game. But before we get into that playoff game, the confidence points. Explain the confidence points.
Well, yeah, in the NFL Week 17 confidence points pool, Zach Roach here, he beat me by 1 point, okay? 117 to 116, mainly because of that Seahawks-Cardinals game. He gave the Seahawks 15 confidence points. I gave the Seahawks 10 confidence points, okay, against the Cardinals. That game was closer than everyone thought, okay? It took Russell Wilson to do that game-winning drive. He had a nice deep pass to Tyler Lockett to put them in field goal range in the closing seconds, and Janikowski hit the game-winning field goal for the Seahawks. And they could have rested their starters and things like that, but Doug Baldwin, the wide receiver for the Seahawks, he gave the motivation for them to win that game was that they didn't want to play in Chicago. He said it. They didn't want to go to Soldier Field and play in Chicago in January. He said everybody play in the Dome in Dallas, okay?
Wow. I didn't know he said that. Wow.
Yeah, so he said that was their main motivation because they could have been the 6th seed, drop to the 6th seed and play the Bears, but now they're the 5th seed. They're going to go to Dallas and play in the Dome and everything. But great season by you. You went ahead and won overall score.
Thank you.
Pretty much blew me out, pretty much. I think 1,436 to 1,342.
Correct.
The ending score for the season. And so in the league, with another league, 12-player league, and he missed first place by 1 point. So I'm not the only one he's been beaten all season, okay?
Yeah.
So, by 1 point, he almost got it. And so we'll be picking against the spread in the playoffs. I'm happy I beat you, but I'm disappointed that I don't know. 1 point, really? 1 point. 1 point. I know that person who won, whoever it is. I know they're like, woo. Yeah, you almost had him.
I almost pulled it off, but that was a lot of fun. But now we're in the playoffs. We talked about the other playoff match. We talked about the Bears and Eagles, the other NFC wildcard game. This one is good too. The Cowboys back in the playoffs. They was there in Dak and Zeke's rookie year. They had a first round bye. They ended up getting Aaron Rodgers out the playoffs. I mean, when I say Aaron Rodgers took him out the playoffs, he was phenomenal in that game.
Yeah, that was an amazing game.
But this year, Dallas, they in the welcome. They come with a better defense. They come with a better defense. Dak is, I don't know, we'll see. It's up in the air. Zeke is still Zeke. But they have a key addition in Amari Cooper. John Gruden once again gets another shout out from the Cowboys fans, not just the Bears fans. But the Seahawks, they got that guy. They got that guy, quarterback, Russell Wilson. And that's one guy, I don't care where you playing at, I don't care who you are, that is one guy in a big moment in a big game that I don't know if I want to deal with him. And plus they have the number one rushing attack in the NFL. Carson has run really well. What's your thoughts on this matchup?
Well, these teams played this season in week 3, and the Seahawks got an easy victory against the Cowboys. They was up 24-6 in that game. They ended up winning that game in double digits. But in that game, the Seahawks had a couple of things going for themselves. They had Earl Thomas in that game who had 2 interceptions, but he's gone. He gave the middle finger to the Seahawks organization because they wouldn't pay him the money and everything like that. And also the game was in Seattle with the 12th man. You know, that's a great home field advantage to have over there in Seattle. So but this game is in Dallas, all right? And so now the Cowboys, they have won 7 out of their last 8 games. That one loss was that embarrassing loss, that shutout. They were shut out against the Colts. They lost by more than 20 points in that game. And the Seahawks have won 6 out of their last 7 games, and that one loss was against the 49ers, which was an upset, okay? So, like Roach mentioned earlier, the Seahawks has the number 1 rushing attack in the NFL. Chris Carson has been relentless. He has been a pleasant surprise in Seattle, undrafted rookie free agent last season. Also, Mike Davis, backup running back, he had a nice 17-yard touchdown against the Cardinals last week. Now, I would say maybe only one running back in the NFL can claim that they're better than Ezekiel Elliott. That would be Todd Gurley. I would say only Todd Gurley can say that he's better than Ezekiel Elliott. So that Cowboy running game is stout. And so the thing is, but the problem with Seattle is that they're 30th in the NFL in rushing yards allowed per game, okay? Which is shocking because they have Bobby Wagner, first ballot Pro Bowler there, but he can't do everything by himself. So they do allow a lot of rushing yards. And the Dallas Cowboys defense is number 5 in the NFL in rushing yards allowed per attempt, okay? So that Dallas defense is good all around. You got Leighton Vander Esch, or we can call him LVE, the rookie standout with the Cowboys middle linebacker, has been great against the run. So that's sprint versus sprint right there. So I went ahead and picked the Dallas Cowboys. Woo! I am afraid of Russell Wilson, but I say the Cowboys are at home. They have been great at home. I'm going to go ahead and pick them. I got them win this game 26-21. What the Cowboys played for how many points?
A point and a half.
A point and a half. So that's giving respect to Seattle. You know, Seattle on the road and things like that. It's going to be a close one. That Russell Wilson factor is huge. But I went ahead and picked the Cowboys. I got them winning 26-21. I think they're going to pound it with Ezekiel Elliott. He's going to get like over 100 yards rushing.
I think this is going to be another good one. This is going to be another battle. They're going to smack each other up a lot. Ezekiel Elliott, one of my favorite players in the NFL. I think he's going to have a good game. But I listen, I got a feeling this is one of these games where I think it's going to come down to the pressure and the clutch situation. And there's not probably one, I don't know if I trust any quarterback more in pressure moments than Russell Wilson. He's notorious. He's made big plays. He's done this in the postseason time and time again, except for that interception that they should have gave the ball to Marshawn Lynch, but that's a different story.
Right.
But for the most part, he's been phenomenal in the postseason. And he's always made that big play when it's much, much needed. But you're right, the Dallas Cowboy defense is really good, and they've really turned it up this year. They had that bad loss. Dak might have got some confidence by them playing that last game against the Giants. He led them to that victory, had that beautiful touchdown pass caught by Cole Beasley. That was a great catch. So we'll see if he can carry that over to Seattle.
Give him a little confidence.
Yeah, give him a little confidence. But we'll see Pete Carroll versus Jason Garrett. This is why I like the Seahawks.
Yeah, Pete Carroll.
This is why I like the Seahawks.
He can get a little cute, though.
He can get a little cute, but I think he's going to have a good game plan defensively against the Cowboys, and I think Russell Wilson makes some plays here and there, and they win the game. I got the Seahawks winning 27-24. And I think it's going to be a really good game.
Okay, so we disagree on 2 games.
Yes.
I got the Seahawks, you got the... I got the Cowboys, you got the Seahawks.
Yes. You got the Ravens, I got the Chargers, and we both agree on the Colts. So I pretty much got all the road teams winning.
Wow. Yeah, except for the Bears game.
Except for the Bears.
You got all the road teams. You picked, okay, wow.
Yeah, so
that's remarkable. Okay.
We'll see how it goes. You never know. So with all this everything said and done, so the buys in the AFC, the Patriots somehow slipped. All this noise about how they're not the same team and they're not this, that, and third. They still have a first round bye once again. The Chiefs, who've been hot all year, they're the number 1 overall seed in the AFC. They got home field throughout. Who you think is coming out the Super Bowl? Going to the Super Bowl from the AFC?
Well, okay, yeah, I got the Colts winning that game, so they had to play the Chiefs. I think they go to Kansas City and lose. So I think the Chiefs going to the AFC Championship game. What do we got? Ravens. Now Ravens win this game, and then they have to play the Patriots in New England. That'll be a nice game right there. But I'll go with Tom Brady in that game right there. So I'm going, and Patriots going to Kansas City. I'm going to go ahead and go with the Patriots, man. I'll say Tom Brady go back because they don't have that running game. Kareem Hunt is gone. I don't see the Chiefs beating the Patriots. I get the Patriots going to the Super Bowl out of AFC.
Yeah, unfortunately, I agree with you. Listen, the Patriots, they might be a team. The Chiefs may be better. Even the Chargers may be better. Even the Ravens. But I'm like this with the Patriots right now. Until I see somebody put them out in the playoffs, I'm like, look, I know Tom Brady didn't have as good a year as he normally did. Rob Gronkowski is getting older. And they just lost Josh Gordon due to other personal reasons. But until I see somebody beat Brady in that playoffs, I got to go with him. And the fact is, they have a home game.
Right.
They have a first round bye and they have a home game. And you know how hard it is to win in the playoffs at Foxborough Stadium. It is very hard. So I got to go with the Patriots too. I think it's going to be. I don't know how the matchup will go, but I somehow it's going to be them and the Chargers, or I think it's probably going to be the Patriots and Chiefs in the
Patriots and Chiefs, yeah. 1 versus 2.
Yeah, right. 1 versus 2. But I feel like that game is just
it'll be in Kansas City, but I think that Kareem Hunt factor going to come into play. And
the game plan of Bill Belichick, I got the Patriots. What about the NFC?
Well, you know what? I got the Cowboys getting going to the Saints after a win. And so I get the Saints getting their revenge because they lost to the Cowboys earlier in the season in Dallas, okay? And the Saints, they had a 3-game stretch where they didn't look good, but all them games was against on the road. Then they played the Pittsburgh Steelers at home after all that, and they won the game. So I say the Saints are going to the NFC Championship game after beating the Cowboys. I say the Bears beat the Eagles. They play the LA Rams. That's going to be a tough game. I say the only way that the Saints could not make it to the Super Bowl is if the Bears beat the Rams in LA, because I don't see the Rams beating the Saints. I'm going to go ahead and say Bears Saints in the NFC Championship game for a rematch 2006 when Urlacher and when we beat Reggie Bush and them guys and everything. But that was at Soldier Field. This is in New Orleans. So I say New Orleans go to the Super Bowl, and I say it's New Orleans against the Patriots. And I'm going to go ahead and pick the Saints to get the second Super Bowl ring for Drew Brees and company.
Wow, I completely agree with you. I feel like I feel like the Saints are gonna win. I feel like they're going to the Super Bowl and going to win it. But I also got the same NFC Championship game. I think the Bears, I just feel like if they get by this Eagles game, because this is, if the nerves is all good, once they get the plan, I feel like they should be fine. I feel like they can go to LA and beat the Rams. I know the Rams are a really good team and they've been explosive and they're on fire and they're going to want revenge as well too. Right. But I feel like our defense is up for the challenge. I feel like we could run the ball as we did on them in that game, and I feel like we could beat the Rams.
We only beat the Rams because it was cold outside.
Well, that's another motivational factor. I'm pretty sure the Bears know that too. So they're going to want to show everybody that we'll beat you here, we'll beat you there, we'll beat you everywhere. Right. But I don't know. The problem with me, I think they're the team that matches up with the Saints the best, because of their big defensive linemen and them being able to get after the quarterback and get after Drew Brees. And they're really stout against the run, but I just feel like it's going to be one of those very close games, but it's going to come down. Can Mitch handle the dome?
I don't want to jinx the Bears either. I don't want to jinx,
but this is not me being this is not being a homer.
Right.
This is just being honest. Like even if I'm not a Bears fan, just looking at how the teams are playing, I'm just looking at
Bears look pretty damn good.
That's just be honest about it.
They can beat them.
But I do not think they're going to win this year. I don't think they're going to win in the Dome. It's going to be close, but I got the Saints.
They just beat Minnesota.
They did too, but the Saints is a whole different breed. And Drew Brees, that's Drew Brees. That's Drew Brees and company, right. And they were this close last year. And they needed a miracle to beat them in the playoffs last year. So I got to go. Saints and Patriots. I got the Saints winning as well.
Right.
I got them winning as a Super Bowl champions, no doubt about it. You're watching Spectator Sport on SpectatorSport.com. When we come back, we got the great, the surprising, and awful, a little NBA talk when we get back. Welcome back to Spectator Sport, sponsored by SpectatorSport.com. I'm Zach Roach.
I'm Buddy Weller.
This is episode number 31. We call it the Reggie Miller edition. Shout out to Reggie Miller, one of the most clutch shooters of all time. Remember, go to SpectatorSport.com. Go ahead and check out my man. He's wrote some dope articles. Also, hit that video button. Subscribe on YouTube to Spectator Sport. We got previous shows, more shows to come, interviews. Go ahead and drop a comment. Let us know how you feel, agree or disagree. Let us know. Let us have it. Big show today. We've been talking a lot of football, but we ain't forgetting about the NBA. And you know what time it is. It is time for the great, the surprising, and the awful. So I'm going to do a little twist. I would say, let's start with the surprising. What surprised you?
You know what? The guy from Oklahoma, I'm going with Buddy Hield, all right? Ooh. Buddy Hield, he's averaging close to 20 points a game this year, okay? 5 rebounds a game. He's one of the main reasons why the Sacramento Kings is fighting for a playoff spot right now. I know they're hovering around the 8th spot for that playoff berth in the West, which is, remarkable right there from all they've been through. We know De'Aaron Fox is the man on that team, but Buddy Hield is a nice guy. He can kick it out too for the threes, just like he did at Oklahoma in the Big 12, things like that. He's shooting close to 43%, 42.9% from three-point range. So I would like to see him in the three-point contest during All-Star Weekend. So Buddy Hield has been very surprising.
That's going to be a good backcourt for years to come. As long as they stay together, that could be a very decent backcourt, no question about it. I'm going to say Paul George. It's not surprising he's a great player, but everybody say, why didn't he go sign with the Lakers? Why didn't he go do this? Turns out he might have made the right decision. He's actually leading OKC in scoring this year, and with 26.4 and averaging 8.2 rebounds a game.
Nice.
Paul George in at 4 assists. He's playing some ball this year. He's hit some big shots. He's had some 40 games. He's actually been the best player on that team this year. I know Westbrook is still averaging a triple-double, but you can argue Paul George has been the best player on the team this year, and that's good for OKC moving forward because now when they go to the playoffs, it isn't just Westbrook or die. It's, you got 2 legitimate all-star caliber players that can get it done. So shout out to Paul George. What's been great?
Well, his teammate, Russell Westbrook. Okay, the man is leading the league at this moment in assists and steals, which is remarkable. And like you said, he's averaging a triple-double again. And it's good to see OKC up there. They, I guess they get rid of Carmelo Anthony, and now they got some chemistry going on. And so, Westbrook, you got to put him up there in the MVP race, okay, with Antetokounmpo, Kawhi Leonard, and LeBron James. You got to put Russell Westbrook up there, James Harden. He's up in there. He's up there. He should be He didn't make the All-NBA team last year, the first team. He made the second team last year. They gave it to Damian Lillard. I think he took that personal. And so
Damian Lillard's balling again this year. So
I get a nod. I just get a nod to Russell Westbrook over him, man. I know Lillard, he's good, but Westbrook, man.
Steph Curry's back too, so
he might be mad again. Huh? But Westbrook is doing this thing, man. So I gotta give it to Russell Westbrook for being great this year.
OKC backcourt definitely playing. They're definitely balling out. So we'll see. OKC is gonna be a tough matchup. No doubt about it. James Harden. This dude right now is going through something. I saw an interview. He said, "You know what? I saw we was 14th place in the West, and I had enough of it." And since then, in December, he's averaging 35.5 points a game. He's had numerous 40-point games, and now he has propelled the Rockets without Chris Paul to the number 4 seed. His averages for the year now is 33.3, 8.4 assists, and 5.8 rebounds. James Harden has officially put his stamp down and said, "You know what? I might want to win back-to-back MVPs," and he has turned it on. Seriously, now the Rockets are right back They're close to catching up to number 3, and as long as they can continue to play good. But James Harden is balling right now. I can't help it. Yeah. The man is putting on show every night.
Yeah, the Houston came out and got off to a horrible start, and I saw that. I was looking at the stands like, all they done is keep shooting up the standards. They up there, so they finally back.
They back without Chris Paul. That's what's even more impressive. Right. It's just like he's doing a lot, and he's willing them to victories. No question about it. What's been awful?
Well, the king, man. I love the king, LeBron James, but he made a comment talking about some. What's been awful is his reason for saying that he's the greatest of all time. Yeah. The reason, okay? So he's saying that he's the greatest of all time because he beat the 73-9 Golden State Warriors, okay? Yeah. We beat them, so they was the greatest team of all time, and so I'm the greatest.
He pretty much said, but go ahead.
Yeah, saying I'm the greatest of all time. For one, it's a couple of problems with that right now. So you can't say a team's the greatest of all time if they didn't win the championship. That team didn't win the championship that year, so that wasn't the greatest team of all time, okay? And the Bulls, 96 Bulls, okay, they only had 3 losses going into the finals. That Warriors team had 5 losses going into the finals, okay? They lost 3 times. They almost lost to the Thunder. They're on 3-1 to those guys, okay? And then in the finals, they got Draymond Green got suspended for hitting LeBron James in the nuts. Well, really, he didn't hit him in the nuts. He really hit
and called him the B word.
Right. Yeah, he hit Adams. He kicked Adams in the nuts. They should suspended him for that. But so they beat the Warriors in the finals. So he's saying he's the greatest of all time for that. Look, here's my thing. Eli Manning, he beat the Patriots. Right? They was undefeated. The Patriots was like 18-0 when they played the Giants in the Super Bowl. Yep. So can Eli Manning be like, I'm the greatest quarterback of all time. I'm better than Joe Montana. I'm better than Steve Young and Troy Aikman and everybody, Johnny Unitas. I'm the greatest of all time because I beat the Patriots. They was 18-0, So I don't agree with that logic. I think that is awful.
I just feel like it's just self-promoting. Like, look, listen, if you're the greatest, if you're the best of something, you don't have to say anything. Do you ever hear Jerry Rice come out of his mouth, I'm the best receiver of all time? No, everybody else is telling him that. Jordan, I've never really heard Jordan say, I'm the greatest, when in fact everybody is anointed. But listen, just let the people anoint you. LeBron, you a great player. You are on top 5. You are on Mount Rushmore. You don't have to go out and self-proclaim yourself for beating the Golden State Warriors, okay? Because first of all, you're telling half the story. You're telling half the story. See, you keep that whole interview. I heard I.
Right.
You forgot that Kyrie Irving was phenomenal in that series. You forgot Kyrie Irving hit one of the greatest shots of all time in finals history, and Steph Curry in the MVP's face to win it all. But you don't bring that up.
You're right.
And now you understand why Kyrie wanted to get out of there. Right. Stuff like that is probably why he was like, you know what, I'm ready to go.
Right. He could have gave a shout out to Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, he did. He great, but this is what made me to go. No, Kyrie Irving was just as important in that series as you was. Oh boy, but I still love LeBron.
Yeah, he's still
the best player in the league, no question right now. But that was way off base right there. My awful is the Bulls signing of Jabari Parker. Wow. Did that go the wrong way? I mean, on the surface it looked okay. Okay, here's a guy from Chicago. Bring him back. Maybe that can help put some seats, put some butts in the seats. And in that press conference, I was nervous because he said, I don't play defense.
Yeah, he told us. He warned us.
He warned us. Like, he signed a contract before he said that, though.
Right.
We got $20 million for the season. Now, it's not a terrible contract. I know you see $20 million, but at least the Bulls can opt out and get out of that this year. But the fact of the matter is you bring the guy, and in the first 2 preseason games, you put him on the bench, he's not starting, and then now that Jim Bolin's become the coach, Bolin said, I can't deal with him. He's just been demoted. He's not getting no playing time. Now they're trying to trade him.
A lot of DMPs.
Just unexpected. It's just been an awful situation, and that's another awful move by Gar and Pax. That's what it comes down to. Another terrible move. Another one that downfall. And what are they doing? Instead of trying to work it out with him, they're blaming him. That's what they do. That's what Gar and Pax. Now he's a scapegoat of everything wrong with the Bulls. The Bulls been terrible the last, I don't know how long. They've been terrible, but they pretty much scapegoating him. Now he hasn't been good. His defense is awful. That is true. But they're scapegoating him like, okay, we need to play other people because he's not getting it done. So that's what the Bulls do.
Yeah, his defense, man. I didn't know his defense was that bad. But yeah, he said he doesn't want to play defense. He said made some comments like he doesn't give a damn about defense before they signed him and things like that. Yeah. It's just the Bulls going to move on for it. We still need another wing player. I thought he would solidify that forward spot for us, but looks like he's going to get traded or bought out of his contract.
Yeah, people that's trying to hurt the trade to come back, they saying like, where they want to give some bad contracts to him for the Parker, and it's just like, no, we're not going to do that.
They want to do that. So they might just wait till this, because he has a team option for the second year, so he's definitely not picking it up.
Yeah, they're definitely not picking it up. So they hope they can get something out of it, maybe even a second-round draft pick. I mean, that's something. That's better than nothing.
Yeah, no doubt.
You've been watching Spectator Sport on SpectatorSport.com. I'm Zach Roach. This was episode number 31, the Reggie Miller edition. Make sure you go on SpectatorSport.com, read the articles, check out the videos on there. Go ahead and comment on it. Let us know how you feel. In the meantime, in between time, when we come back next week, hopefully we'll be talking about a Bears victory. But until then, we out. Peace.